Every 40 seconds, someone takes their life. That's 90 lives an hour, 2,160 lives a day, and 15,120 lives a week. These numbers not just reflect a crisis, but also the silence and stigma surrounding the mental health issues. In current time, where social media shapes our mind, influence everything in and out, even if you try to explain your mental illness to your family or friends, they will most likely make your jokes. They will think you are attention seeker or a weakling. They will hit you with a "don't be silly, take a nap," something like that, and say, "I have got more issues than you and still functioning. Don't make excuses. Be strong." They will not understand you are really in depression. Maybe they are depressed as well, but the situation is so neglected that we can't express ourselves or understand. We are being surrounded by so many people, yet we are feeling lonely. Today in this video, we'll be talking about the silent killer, depression, a silence that needs to be heard. In this 20th century, people suffer more mentally than they do physically. It's more or less, we all are depressed. Only the insane are not depressed, and maybe that's why they are in mental hospitals. From my personal experience, I can tell you that suffering in your mind is much worse than suffering physically. Physical pain will send you to the hospital, but mental illness will send you to the morgue. It will not take your life initially. The pain, the suffering, the depression will keep compounding, and one day the depression will be no more, because there will not be you to worry about. Our society is so messed up that if one takes their life because of depression, we call them coward. We assume that he had no valid reason to justify his action. He got emotional and killed himself. Obviously, nothing can justify a life that is lost. At under no condition we should harm ourselves. We should survive. We must survive. You are supposed to live with your depression, with your pain. That's how life is. We think how bad that could be, how much could have that hurt that he had to do something like that. Unless you have personal experience, you will never know. You can say, I understand what he was feeling through, what he was going through, but you don't. You don't understand what he was going through. You can't understand his feelings. For example, if you learn that a student unalived himself for bad results, we just know that he took that decision because he got bad marks. We don't understand his pain to the core. We don't know how sad he was, his hopes and dreams crushed, his parents disappointed on him. His mind could not take all of that at once. He could not live a life of failure, and today he is no more. But us, what would we say? We would say, oh no, he should not have done that. He should have tried once more. A single sheet of paper could not decide your future. Unfortunately, this kind of thing only comes out of our mouth when the bad thing has already happened. We could not say this same thing to him when he was alive, when he was still there to listen to us. No wonder why students are one of the most suicidal people. This current generation is perhaps the most depressed generation ever. Almost 20% of the population is in immediate need of mental care, and the reasons that causing mental illness are very common. We all are pretty much aware of them. The reasons are usually biological factors like the hormonal changes, brain chemistry imbalance, etc. As one grows up, the problems get worse and he develops more and more insecurities. Any kind of trauma, accident, or negative self-talks can cause depression as well. Sometimes even the causes of our depression are our loved ones. The people we loved also often cause us depression. In many ways, our family and friends cause us depression, and this kind of depression is much lethal than any other. And we saw a prime example of that a few days ago. Instead of comforting us, consoling us, and making us feel better, they are giving us life sentences. We are afraid to seek for help, because if we do, we are very much likely to be labeled as attention seeker or weakling. It will not make our depression better but worse. There is more and more anxiety, stress, and depression, leading to higher suicide rate. The weight of burden gets heavier day by day. We feel hopeless. So, when on see no hope, all doors are closed. They take the easiest way to end it all. This stigma also impacts our economy. We are always exhausted, we are becoming less productive, we are losing our memory, and it costs us billions every year. It also impacts our personal life. We tend to isolate ourselves, we stop socializing, we communicate less with our friends and family, we express ourselves even less, even with our mouth. We can't speak anymore. At that moment, we wish we could break the unbearable silence. We wish someone could have heard our unspeakable pain and have cared for us. Unfortunately, that does not happen. We are being consumed by our own thoughts more and more, each passing day making the survival even tougher. Unless we take the necessary steps to resolve this problem, we'll be trapped in our own mind. So we have to start taking actions. Indeed, we're not a famous person or have a lot of influence, but we can do whatever is within our power. We must do whatever we can. We need to normalize talking about mental health more and more. Next time you talk to a friend or family member, try to understand them. Try to ask them if they are doing well. Ask them about their well-being, and also try to explain yourself. Try to express yourself. Express all of your feelings and something that you have been hiding on your mind. We have to speak first, and then they would do the same. We can't expect them to ask the first. At the end, I would say, please listen to others without any judgment, and equally express yourself without any hesitation. Hit the like and subscribe button if you have found this video relatable.